We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Hi guys, so today we are joined by Hannah, who is a command support clerk for the Australian Army. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, after school, I believe you decided to do a gap year with the Australian Army. Is that correct? And if so, why did you decide to do that after you finished Year 12?
So I did decide to join the gap year program after I completed Year 12. I made that decision in Year 11 when I applied, and I'd always looked at joining the Defence Force. I actually first looked at joining the Navy. I had a huge interest in that because I'm from Victoria and I visited the Navy base in Cerberus quite a few times and got that exposure. And then slowly as I went to more career seminars and met some people in the Army, my focus kind of changed to going for a gap year in the Army instead. So it just stuck out to me more, the lifestyle and what you get to participate in and all that. So went from there and joined the Army in the gap year.
Amazing. So what was the process that you had to undertake to go on a gap year with the Australian Army? Did you have to move from Victoria, or what then sort of happened after you finished Year 12?
So when I applied, I think I had to apply early the year before in 2018. Went through my process, did my U session, and from there I went on to my assessment day, and then after completing that, I got my enlistment date for January in 2019. I moved from Victoria, Melbourne, went up to Wagga to Kapooka to do my 12 weeks of enlistment training, and then from there for my IETs I moved to Bandiana for, I think I was there for about 4 to 5 months, but my course was 14 weeks, and then I got a posting to Brisbane. So now I've ended up in Brisbane.
Oh wow, cool. So you've been out of home for a while now. How's all that going?
Everything's going well. I've stayed in Brisbane for the last 2 years now, and it's been a great experience. So I've loved every bit of it.
Much sunnier than Victoria, at least.
Much warmer.
Yeah. So what appealed to you about taking a gap year in the Australian Army? What do you think it was that appealed to you when you were at high school?
So pretty much around start of Year 12, around Year 11, I knew I didn't want to go to university straight away. I was open to studying. I even applied to go to university, but I knew I wanted to do something different and get a bit of a life experience, kind of throw myself in the deep end, I guess. And I'd looked at the Defence Force for years. My brother's also in the Navy.
Yeah.
So both, I guess my family had an interest as well in being a part of the Defence Force. But it was a good decision. I'm glad I jumped in the deep end and joined the Army, because the experiences I've had from finishing school to now, I can say I never would have done that if I hadn't taken that step.
Yeah, totally. You could have just wasted a few years, I guess, working in retail. Not that that's a waste, but you've just jumped straight into this amazing training, which is my next question. What sort of training have you gotten to undergo? I think, it's a great way to build lots of life skills, but what sort of training have you undergone so far?
So the training we've got to undertake is so vast, in all different aspects. So done courses for radios, communications, mapping systems, a lot of weapon training. So you get qualified on pistols, guns and rifles. You also get to learn how to throw grenades.
That's cool.
Yeah. yeah, it was good fun. I've gone to do chainsaw course when I got posted to the infantry unit I went to in Brisbane. Yeah, there's a ton of opportunities all the time, and it's just being like, there's never ending really.
Yeah, it sounds super interesting. Like, it sounds like every day, every week, you're like onto something new and exciting and different, which is really cool. Like, you know, it's not the same old all the time, you know, which life can get a bit like, you know, you may as well just, as soon as you finish high school, jump in there and start learning all these really cool things. So what opportunities did you have on your gap year? So it's obviously just the 1 year that, you know, it's the gap year. What opportunities did you have during that 1 year?
Within my year, the opportunities I got, I've done a few random field exes. I've got to play enemy party. Coming to Brisbane was the biggest experience, I'd say, and being actually part of a unit and seeing the whole culture of Army, I guess, from a brigade perspective. You do get to do a lot, and there's so much going on all the time. It's like every week, I guess, is a new opportunity and experience to do something, whether that's a course or you just do a certain class.
So is it sort of like, is it set, or do you get to choose, like, say have you got like a few courses that you can choose from, or how does it work, like in terms of what you choose that you want to do, or is it like a set week by week sort of, this is what's happening, this is what's planned out?
Well, when you're in your normal day-to-day life, everything's just usual, and then sometimes like there's courses planned for the future and you can just get nominated for them or request to go on a specific course if you'd like to, and then your chain of command will put you up for it. So when I did chainsaw course, my CSM just came up to me like the day before and was like, do you want to do this course tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, no worries.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like sometimes it's spontaneous and you might just go do it the next week or the next day, or sometimes it's planned ahead, and so
awesome. So what did you love most about the gap year experience?
I'd say like the best thing about my gap year experience was not like all the friendships you get to make are insane, and they're friends you know you'll have for life, because the experiences you go through you'll never go through with anyone else or can relate to anyone else, and what you do through your whole training experience in your first year, because it's so hectic and there's so much going on. But just every little opportunity, and I know that if I had have gone to university straight after high school, I wouldn't be where I am now and done as much as I've done, and even gotten to move states. So yeah, amazing.
So what made you want to join the Army? So you're obviously still with the Australian Army. What made you want to join the Army after the gap year?
After my gap year, because I had a really great year throughout my gap year program, and I loved every bit of experience, the culture, the diversity, every little part of it. I saw no negatives in leaving, because you have your job security, you can stay in your trade, you can even transfer and try something different. And Army is highly flexible with that and super supportive of any decision you make if you want to stay or go reserves. And yeah, I was really supported in staying on, and I had that backing of support behind me as well. And yeah, definitely a positive decision staying on.
Yeah, awesome. And so you obviously decided that you loved Brisbane and you wanted to stay there.
Yeah, Brisbane's been amazing. Just the weather, the environment, the brigade itself.
Yeah.
All the people,
cool.
Good culture here. So.
And then, so even if you had decided, for example, that you didn't want to stay on, what kind of skills do you think that you learnt during that gap year that would have benefited for you for your future career path? Like, you're not set in stone. Like, a gap year is an awesome way to learn, like we were talking about, different skills, not just throwing grenades. What other things do you think that would have helped you if you did decide to maybe go to uni or take a different career path?
Yeah, so in my role as a command support clerk, we do get a certification in business, which you can transfer into the civilian world if you do choose to leave. It gives you like fundamental business skills that you need in an everyday to-day job, but it also sets you up to have that confidence when going into a new business or a new lifestyle, because pretty much everything we do in our day-to-day life, sometimes you're just getting chucked in the deep end and you just got to learn to adapt.
Yes.
So, and they teach you like just your basic day-to-day, even communication skills like respect, professionalism, teamwork, just every normal skill you need in an everyday job. So, and they provide you with the skills to transfer out as well, so that you're not just getting left to figure yourself out. They have career advisors and people to give you guidance. So
yeah, it sounds awesome. I honestly think that everyone should do it. Like a gap year with the Australian Army or Navy or the Defence Force, I think it really would set you up so well. And like it's, you know, a good way to learn how to live without mum and dad too, you know.
Right. It definitely builds your confidence, because a lot of people, obviously, you're still relying on your parents as you are transitioning out of school and learning how to set yourself up. So definitely being away from that, you've got to pick up things yourself and just take the leap, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So what kind of gap experiences and roles are available within the Australian Army? Is it just sort of one experience, or are there like a few different ones?
Yes, I think I haven't gone too into with, they've added more into the roles that you get to participate in, but it's actually quite broad. So you've got my trade as a command support clerk, you go combat course, so for infantry and artillery as well. They also have ground-based air defence, quartermasters as well, so people that work in the warehouses. So it's quite vast. So it's like if you want to work in logistics, combat.
That's cool. Yeah, so you can sort of decide. Yeah, that's awesome. So would you recommend a gap year in the Australian Defence Force to others, and if so, why?
100%. I definitely recommend doing a gap year, not just Army, but Navy and Air Force for those coming out of school, because the life experience, the skills, and the people you meet are amazing. And you can choose to stay on, or you can choose to go reserves after. You'll always have like a job behind you if you want to. So if you don't know what you want to do, sometimes doing something completely out of your scope that you never even consider can be the best decision you'll ever make. So.
Absolutely, yeah, and open up your eyes to a whole different world that, you know, you didn't even know was out there in the first place. So for sure. Mm-hmm. So students out there who are listening, who are currently at high school, would you give some advice to them, or what would you sort of say to them if they're thinking about doing a gap year with the Australian Defence Force?
I would say that like you're never always going to know 100% what you want to do or where you want to go. And some of the best decisions you'll make can be just off the cuff. And jumping in the deep end, you're definitely going to be afraid and you're going to be nervous because it's something you've never done before. But that after effect of achieving just simply joining and getting that experience is so relieving, and just how you feel after and what you get out of doing in the Defence Force when you join in a gap year is amazing. So if you don't know where you want to go, but you know you want to do something different, joining the Defence Force is definitely that.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. So if students are listening and they'd like to find out more, where should they head?
Definitely they should head to Defence Jobs. That's where I signed up. There's heaps of advice, shows you every opportunity that you can partake in terms of your job role. And it lists all your roles and responsibilities, what you can get out of it, and what the Defence Force offers. So,
awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time today, Hannah. It was great to get your insights into the Gap Year program. It sounds absolutely awesome. And thanks once again.
Thank you.